You know, right at the heart of modern astronomy, there's this massive puzzle. Scientists have measured how fast the universe is expanding in two different ways, and they've gotten two completely different answers. Let's dive into this cosmic contradiction.
Okay, so first up, scientists looked at the oldest light there is, that faint glow left over from the Big Bang, called the cosmic microwave background. And from that, they calculated this number. The early universe seems to be expanding at about 67 kilometers per second for every 3.26 million light-years of distance. Got it? Okay, remember that number.
But, and this is where it gets weird, when astronomers measure the expansion rate using stars and galaxies that are much closer to us, here in the modern universe, they get a totally different answer. A faster one, about 74 kilometers per second per megaparsec.
So that's the big question, right? How can both of these numbers be correct? I mean, it's the same universe. It should have one expansion rate, shouldn't it?
Now, for years, everybody just figured, it's a measurement error. Someone's math is off. But then the James Webb Space Telescope, our most powerful eye on the sky, double-checked the numbers. And guess what? Both are correct. This isn't a mistake. It's real. And it has created a genuine crisis in cosmology that we now call the Hubble Tension.
So our current model of the universe, well, it's kind of broken. It can't explain this. This has scientists scrambling to find some kind of new physics. But what if the solution isn't some brand new, super complicated set of equations? What if the answer has been sitting in a completely different framework all along, one described in the Qur'an?
The idea we're exploring here is that modern physics is built on one big assumption, that there's a single universal law for the universe's expansion. But this framework argues that the Qur'an actually describes not one, but two distinct divine commands that shape the cosmos in two different phases.
The first command is all about the beginning, a single, powerful, one-time event, a splitting apart of what was once a single unified mass. You can almost feel that explosive initial expansion.
And here is the first major connection. This model proposes that this initial splitting command is what's behind the expansion rate we measure from the early universe. That's 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec we get from the cosmic microwave background. But then there's a second command, and this one is totally different. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's more like an ongoing instruction, a responsive call for the heavens and earth to come. It suggests a more continuous, adaptive process. And boom, there's the other half of our puzzle. This ongoing, responsive command is what's linked to the expansion rate we see today in our local part of the universe, that faster rate of 74 kilometers per second per MPC. So you see, two commands, two different rates.
Okay, so, two commands, that makes some sense. But why do they give us two different speeds? To understand that, we have to talk about time. And this is where things get really fascinating.
Well, the source points out something incredible. The Qur'an seems to say that time isn't absolute. It's not the same for everyone everywhere. In one place, a day is described as 50,000 years. In another, it's 1,000 years. And if time itself can flow at different rates, well, why would we expect the expansion of space to be uniform? Suddenly, the Hubble tension doesn't just make sense. It's almost expected.
This all leads to the core idea here, a dual field model. Think of the universe as having two coexisting systems. The source calls one the book field. This is tied to matter, to particles, the fixed physical stuff. It represents the early universe and gives us that 67 value. The other is the word field. This is linked to light, to waves, to that dynamic, ongoing command, and that corresponds to our modern universe and its faster rate of 74. All right, let's put it all together. Two commands, two fields, and two clocks. How does this actually solve the problem that's giving cosmologists headaches? This is where everything clicks into place.
So just to remind ourselves, this is the problem that's got scientists stumped. We've got a number from the dawn of time and a different one from today. And according to standard physics, they should match, but they don't.
But with this new lens, there is no contradiction. There's no problem to solve. The so-called tension was just an illusion, a ghost created because we are trying to measure a two-speed universe with a one-speed ruler.
So instead of seeing two conflicting numbers, we're actually seeing two correct and totally distinct measurements. It's like the universe has two different clocks ticking away. One is the particle clock that governs the early, matter-dominated era, that's our 67. The other is the wave clock for the modern, light-dominated era, and that's our 74. Both are right.
Now, you might be thinking, wait, does this mean there are two separate universes?
Not at all. And this model brings it all back to a single, beautiful, unifying origin.
The source points to this verse as the master command, the single point of origin from which everything else, all the duality and complexity we see actually flows.
And there you have it. It's so elegant when you see it this way. Two distinct commands leading to two measurable fields, but all flowing from one single origin. It's a perfect picture of duality rooted in absolute unity.
So what are we to make of all this? The biggest mystery in cosmology today seems to perfectly mirror a dual-phase structure described in the Qur'an. And that leaves us with a pretty mind-bending question. Is it possible the universe, through our most advanced telescopes, is actually showing us its own source code?